I ignored Leafy's here when he was having his little beef with Ethan Klein of H3H3 Productions and when he bullied that autistic kid by the name of Tommy NC 2010. And I did that for two reasons. One, I was working on other projects, and by the time I finally got around to actually consider making the video, the topic would have been wholly irrelevant because the internet has a very short attention span. And two, other people covered it so much better than I ever could. And I felt like I couldn't add anything new or unique to the table, so I ultimately didn't talk about it. But this, no. This is something that I can't ignore. So what am I talking about? Leafy is back in the news once again for bullying another autistic kid by the name of Wet Movie 1. He's a guy by the name of Brendan Marshall. Now, I want to thank the fine folks over at neogaf.com for posting this. You guys are doing the Lord's work, seriously. If it wasn't for you, I probably would have never known about this. So, in the same vein as the video where he was bullying Tommy NC 2010, he takes the video from the guy, Wet Movie 1, and basically just insults him, makes fun of how he looks, his mannerisms, how he talks. It's an awful video. I've watched my fair share of awful videos. And, you know, the thing I don't get, Leafy, and I'm talking to you directly, why would you think posting a video like this was a good idea, especially after you got so much backlash for the one you posted a month ago? And you came out and apologized and said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know he's autistic." Sure, the apology kind of is very insincere, especially now that this has come out. But at the time, I thought that you would have learned from your lesson and would have been a little bit more careful in the types of videos you did and the types of people you went after. But you doubled down on it? Why? Are you stupid? And I mean that sincerely. Are you stupid? Why would you think this is a good idea to do? You know, I mean, this is not comedy. This is essentially straight up harassment. You're essentially making fun of people, low-hanging fruit, i.e. kids, and people with disabilities because you know you can. Because you know they can't defend themselves. Which is just incredibly... It's sick. It's really sick, and honestly, it's low. It's really low. And, I mean, if you don't know who Leafy is here is... He's a guy on YouTube that makes commentary videos. And essentially what they are is him reacting to cringy videos, you know, from all over the internet. It's essentially an edgier version of commentaries. And all of his videos are extremely clickbaity. They'll say, you know, the most savage man on YouTube, or the best human being on the internet, or the saddest man on YouTube, or all this other stuff. You know, instead of going after people who actually deserve it, who are actually doing horrible things, you know, people like Keemstar, you go after the low-hanging fruit that can't defend themselves for views. This makes me very angry because the fact that YouTube allows this type of stuff, the fact that YouTube allows people like this to get away with the stuff they do, when people like my friend Kinrai Ku uploads a Curry parody and they shut that down, that's against copyright, even though it's under fair use. Oh no, you can harass and insult anybody you want. It doesn't matter if they're kids or people with mental disabilities, whatever. You can insult them, you can harass them, and it's totally a-okay as long as you're making moolah. Really? Really, YouTube? This is the kind of content you want to promote? This is the type of content you want to support? The community guidelines are an absolute joke because they don't hold people to any sort of accountability or responsibility. They punish the people who are actively following the rules and doing what they're supposed to do and what YouTube expects of them, but they don't go after the people who are actively breaking the rules. And I understand that comedy is subjective, and what's not funny to one person can be absolutely hilarious to another person, you know? And look, I get it. I'm totally not against offensive humor, as long as it's done right and as long as it has a point. But this is not comedy. This is essentially harassment. And if you're just being offensive for the sake of being offensive, then you're being truly offensive. You're not funny. You're just essentially being an asshole. That's really what it is. You're essentially being an absolute dick. And for what? For views? And you have 2 million subscribers. You have a large audience that follows everything that you do, that follows your every word, that listens to the type of things you say and will act upon it. You know how cancerous your fan base is. You know that they attack people. So why would you think this is a good idea? Like, why? You know? And I know some people are going to say, oh, but why do you care so much? It's just silly YouTube drama. No. No. This is not more than silly YouTube drama. This is sick. This is absolutely sickening. And the fact that you would take other people's content, make fun of them for the way they look and their mannerisms and how they act, which are things that they can't control, and use that to make money, says a lot about your character, Leafy. That is just so messed up upon so many other levels. And if you're wondering, yes, Brandon did make a response video essentially calling Leafy out for being an asshole, for being what he is, for doing the types of things that he does. And he actually made a very interesting point, saying that what he does is that he essentially takes other people's content, makes fun of them, and uses that to make money, which is very true. And it's so ironic. It's so ironic that you called out Jinx for being lazy and untalented and a hack, when all you do is essentially use other people's content, make fun of it, and use that to make money. And on top of that, your fans will go and attack anybody that you make a video on. And I know people will say that he doesn't condone it, or that he's against it. That doesn't matter. The fact that he hasn't come out and officially told his fans to leave these people alone, and that he doesn't condone this type of behavior, he's just as responsible, and he has as much to be guilty for. This is exactly the same point in the last video I made on the mysterious Mr. Enter and how I called out his fan base. In fact, both of these fan bases are just as bad, but arguably Leafy's here is worse. Arguably worse. And you know what? As lazy and untalented as Jinx was, and he was definitely a lazy and untalented hack, at least he wasn't going around bullying people. At least he wasn't going around and making fun of them for stuff they couldn't control. And that's essentially what this video consists of, and that's essentially what pretty much all of his videos consist of. He's essentially no different than Blackbond. This is essentially the commentary version of Blackbond. And if you've seen one video, you've seen them all. This type of behavior is not okay. It is not acceptable, and we should not, as a YouTube community, accept this. And this is the kind of stuff that Ethan was talking about. And he's right. This is sickening. This is absolutely sickening, and this is nothing more than bullying. You know? And you think you're a bigger man, Leafy, because you go after people that can't defend themselves? You go after low-hanging fruit? My God, do you seriously watch your own videos before you upload them? Did you honestly, watch this video and say, yeah, that's good enough, put that out? You know? Did you honestly at any point think, maybe I shouldn't post that? But you have 2 million subscribers, and you're making that moolah, so you don't care. You don't care about quality control because you have to pump these videos out once a day to keep making that YouTube money. You know? Leafy has not learned his lesson. He has not. And YouTube should take down this video. And that's not something I normally say. Because, you know what? Look, I'm for freedom of speech. I'm for people saying whatever they want to. You know, and that goes to YouTube as well. But when you have somebody who's clearly harassing others and is making money off of it, and clearly doesn't care about who he hurts and about who he's going after, why wouldn't you just take the video down, YouTube? But you're willing to take down videos of people that are actively following the rules? You know, you can take down my video of Chris Chan on MTV's Philosophy, which was just a short little 1-minute clip of like a 20-30 minute show. You allow Viacom to do that. You can take down videos where people are actively, you know, people that are actively following fair use laws. You'll take their videos down. You'll take down parodies. You'll take down Let's Plays and tool-assisted speedruns. You'll allow that. But you won't do this. You won't take down people that do this kind of stuff. This is the type of content you're willing to support. This is the type of content you're willing to promote. Are you kidding me? This is sickening, and to me, it's absolutely unbelievable. This is essentially the worst that YouTube has to offer. It is. It absolutely is, and we need to talk about it. We need to make a stink about this. We need to talk about this non-stop, because this kind of behavior is unacceptable. And as a YouTube content creator that pours a lot of time and effort into what I do, I'm not going to stand for this, and nobody else should either. You know? And this is exactly why I set the rules that I do. I don't go after kids, and I don't go after people that have disabilities. I don't. And on the rare few instances that I cover it, I try to be serious. I try to give the person advice. And yes, I know I made the video on Super Minecraft Kid, but that's only because I had something legitimate to say. And I didn't go and personally insult the kid. I tried to give him advice and help him. I tried to be serious. I didn't joke around and insult him and say this and that and say that he's ugly or say... I didn't do that. You know? If I'm going after somebody, I'm going after people that deserve it. People like DSP, or Vegan Gains, or Sam Pepper, or Freely the Banana Girl, or the Mysterious Mr. Enter, or Life in a Tent. I'm not going to go after low-hanging fruit just to boost my views, just for popularity. You know, Leafy, you are wrong for this, Leafy, and it's time to stop. You seriously need to rethink the type of content you're putting out there, and the type of things that you can say, because they're incredibly harmful. And all they do is just hurt people. You're essentially in the business of hurting people for your own personal gain, and that's messed up. And I know Leafy's fan base is gonna come and attack me, but you know what? I don't care. I have my flame shield up. Do you worst. Come at me, bro. But to end this video off, Brandon, I'm sorry that you had to go through this. Nobody should ever have to go through this. And you are right. It is messed up that people like this can bully others for things that they can't control and make money off of it. And it's absolutely inspiring that you are able to turn around your life in the way you have and are just enjoying it. And that's awesome. And we should be encouraging more of that. And I challenge you, my Douglas World Space Rangers, my fans. I'll leave a link to the guy's video, and I'll also leave a link to his channel in the description down below. Show him some love and tell him that Kid Douglas sent you, because I really do think he needs it. You know what? Honestly, that's all I gotta say about this particular topic. This is ThatKidDouglas, aka the N Hero, signing out. Deuces, stay frosty and keep it weird.